Hey guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts, and welcome to my craft room. We're going to be starting a new series now. We're going to start discussing fabric postcards. I decided to go ahead and do this in a series instead of one, because we all know how I enjoy waffling on, and there's just going to be too many little steps, and I'll just keep talking and giving little tips and tricks and discussing things, and these videos could end up being an hour long. Ain't nobody got time for an hour long video, right? Look at this guy, rainbow zebra. So these are some of the postcards that I'm going to be showing off that we're going to be talking about. I had fun. I made several of these yesterday. They really go quick. Some of them are already finished. You've seen this guy before when I did the single fold binding. And you can see that I obviously need practice on it. But we're going to discuss different ways to make them and different ways to finish them off. Now I was working on some flag ones from an American flag. And as you can see, these are not finished. They don't have the little cardstock backing on it. I can't quite decide which way is up on this flower. I think it might be this way. I think some of these are just as fun on the back as they are on the front. Okay, enough waffling on about that. What do you need to make these postcards? Well, obviously, you're going to need fabric. As you can see, I just used some leftover bits and circles from when I was doing something else. I needed all these little interior circles for a project I was working on, but I had all these leftover larger ones, so I just put those on. These are just little 1-inch squares. I wanted to do like a postcard quilt, and I thought this maybe look like when you're either like when they're putting drones up, or you're standing up on a highway up on a hill and you look down at the farms, you can see a lot of their fields look like a grid work, and you can see all the different shades of the grass or all different farms together. So I really liked the way that looked. And then I just cut some strips. I just laid some red fabric down. I decided, ooh, that looks big enough, and I just cut some strips. And then I cut out my square of my star fabric. So really, any of those little bits and pieces of scraps that you've been saving, you can go ahead and use for this project. These are only, I think these were only about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch wide for these strips. This is part of a old quilt block from my daughter's quilt that I made her. This is some of the leftovers. There are the pieces that I cut off of the edge when I trimmed them up. So you can use just about anything you want. You can add different things to these. You can put lace and doilies. You can add some buttons and beads. But there's going to be some things we're going to have to take in consideration. I haven't actually tried to mail one yet. I have received one in the mail. Look at this. I went ahead and framed it. This, by the way, is a 4x6 picture frame. And this isn't bad if your postcard's finished off like this. But like this postcard won't fit in there. This one was just stitched all around the border just to hold everything together, so I was able to squeeze that one in without losing any of the picture. But like I said, I haven't mailed them yet, so I want to find out all the rules about putting anything thicker than 1/4 of an inch and anything that might cause a problem. They're no longer at the post office hand canceling items. Everything has to be able to go through a machine. So I want to make a few different ones and see the best way to mail them and what their rules and regulations are so we can stay within them. Now, if you want, and you put this inside a regular manila envelope or a bubble mailer, you can make your postcard any way you want. So if you want to go ahead and layer up doilies and make flowers and put beads and buttons on, you're still going to be able to do that, but you're not going to be able to just stick it and mail it like this as if it was just a regular postcard. So you got your fabric scraps, and then what I use is I get this Kunin. It is a stiff felt. I guess it maybe has some glue, or what is it, scrim, I think is what they put in batting. There's something you can see, like the little shiny bits inside here. It's not like sparkly, but I think it's a different glue that they put in. So I just go ahead and use this, because when you put it in the postcard and you use cardstock on the back, it makes it firm, but it keeps it from being too stiff. When they mailed this card to me, because it was extremely stiff, as I showed you when I received it, This one cost, I believe it was $3.50 to mail because it had to be shipped as a package because it could not go through the envelope system. I guess maybe the way it goes over the rollers and stuff, it has to be able to bend. So that's why this one costs more to send. I had some neon cardstock that I just cut up into 4x6 pieces. You could just get some plain white cardstock. I don't really think there's going to be a basic rule. Like I said, one of the things, when I get them done, I'll take them to the post office and find out. But as long as you can be able to write on this and see it, I'm not sure if there's a rule that it has to be white. If anyone knows the exact rules for 2018, go ahead and correct me and let me know down below in the comments, and then I will make a correction on the videos. So I got my fabric scraps, I got my stiff felt, and I got my cardstock. So what could you use in place of the stiff felt if you don't want to use this? They have that, what is it called? Timtex. It's a flexible, fusible that they put inside tote bags and stuff. You can try that. I'm going to try a couple cards that have just batting with the fabric and then stitch it to the cardstock and see how that works. These postcards are so fun to make and they're so quick that it doesn't take any time at all. I think it only takes me about 15 minutes to make a single one. The trick I found is to have a whole bunch of different colored bobbins ready to go. So like this one, I needed green and orange, but I had to stop and wind up a bobbin of green and then a bobbin of orange. So what I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going to take all the different colors of thread that I have, and I'm going to wind up one bobbin for each because I do have a pack of 100 loose bobbins that I can use. And then I'm just going to keep those separately, so anytime I'm ready to do a postcard, I know I'm going to have that color thread that I need. Because like this one, I still need to stitch around it. Now this, I could easily just stitch around all of these in black or gray, or I could just crazy quilt all over it to hold it. But if you wanted to specifically use a certain color, if you wanted to do purple on each one, you'd have to have a purple, you'd have to have a yellow, you'd have to have a red, you'd have to have a black. You know how it is. So depending on how it works, this one I did use a red and then I just used a gray here, but I did use a gray bobbin, and of course it's going to pop up and show, but for the flag that works okay because of the white. But when I go to quilt something like this, I might want to make sure I have maybe a blue to make water lines. So I'm thinking it's going to be a good idea just to have all my bobbins ready, so whenever I want to sit down and make a fabric postcard, I'll have everything ready for me. I'll probably have myself one of those little plastic shoe boxes that I can just store everything in. So I just pull out that shoe box and I'll be ready to work on a project. Now one of the other things that I went and had ordered from Amazon is I ordered these clear envelopes. They are meant for postcards or like a birthday card or something, regular greeting card. And what you can do with these is they just slip right in. This will protect the card and keep it clean as it's going through the post office. And then you can just fold this over and seal it. Now the only thing is I can write my postcard here and my to and from, but you have to be able to get a stamp on it, and they have to be able to put their little printed ink stamp on it to where it came from and all that, and that's not going to work on this plastic envelope. So I'm going to be going up to an office store this weekend and see if I can get a sticky address label that's going to be big enough to fit on this 4x6 card. That way I can put my stamp on it, I can write the address on it right there, and it would actually cover up the back, so if I want to put a personal message, they won't be able to see it. Or also I could just stick an index card in to cover up anything I write on here so everyone in the world doesn't get to see it. I don't know, sometimes I might want to write something I don't want the postman to read. It's not like it's going to be anything bad, but I don't want anyone seeing my business, right? I think once I figure out that this one's going to be the way to go for the post office. I still have to find out about the buttons and beads and stuff, but this way it'll keep everything together, it'll keep it all clean, and maybe we'll still be able to mail it at the postcard rate. As long as I can keep it around $1.50 or less, I'll be happy. I know sometimes you have to pay a little bit more for something like this to mail. But that's what we're going to be doing for our next series. We're going to be learning how to actually make these, how to prepare all our materials. Oh, one of the other things I did use, as you could probably tell here, is I've used a fusible. I just like to use a heat and bond, a lightweight fusible, because that's what I have in the house and I have a big roll of it. So whatever you like to use for a fusible, If you don't have a fusible, for something simple like this, you could probably just use a glue stick to hold it down, or maybe put some of the clover clips around, and then you're going to have to go ahead and do something about quilting it. But if you're going to do different projects like this and you want to have more of a project like this or something abstract, you're going to want to put a little bit of fusible or a glue stick to hold all these down. It's just going to make it a lot easier when you go through the quilting process. So I hope everyone's looking forward to working on fabric postcards with me. I've been having a lot of fun, as you can see, and I still have more over here that I'm keeping secret for now until we actually start working on them and I show you the different processes. Today is Friday, and you know I normally put up my videos for the Sew With Me's on Fridays, but as soon as I can get a video made and edited, you won't have to wait until the next Friday to see it. I'll try to get it up as soon as I can, except of course on Tuesdays when we have the Talk to Me Tuesday videos, because one video of Robin a day is plenty. Nobody needs to see 2 videos of me in one day. Alright, until I see you again, have a great day. Bye!